As a foreigner, as a Japanese, I felt like I could give some value on this Indian society.
As you are doing lots of work for child education, right?
There are some children who are not going to school every day.
Them, how they can prepare themselves.
Actually, we are doing a women empowerment project as well.
Is India is ready to adopt these things? Hello and welcome. Today we have very special guest, Mr. Kotaro-san with us. He is young, dynamic and doing lots of social activities. He is running his NGO and doing lots of things for child education. So without wasting any time, let's have a discussions with him. Yeah, hi Kotaro-san.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So the first thing which came in my mind, why India?
Okay. Yeah, thank you for inviting me here for special opportunity. So, yeah, many people are asking to me, why you are Japanese, why you are coming to India? So, the answer is the social background of India and myself as a foreigner, as a Japanese, I felt like I could give some value on this Indian society. Many of the people understand that India is economically growing rapidly, right? But on the other hand, I understand that there are some kind of poverty side as well in rural villages or slums as well. So what I felt is that due to some kind of stigma or maybe sometimes caste background or maybe sometimes gender background, some people are left behind. So what I felt is that as a foreigner, as a Japanese, I can communicate with whatever the people in India. So I mean, like with rich people who are not the rich people or whatever caste, because basically people don't care about my social background, right? Of course, I don't have any caste, I don't have any specific religious thought. So I felt that just as a foreigner, I can give some value on this Indian society.
Yeah, it's a very, very great thought, right? It's a very inspiring, very inspiration for us. Right? I think you have started with the Bangalore, right? South India, and after that you are doing these activities in the Pan India places. So, any particular reason to choose that South India only and to do these activities?
So basically, that time we registered my organization called Musubi Foundation. That time, actually, I used to stay in Bangalore and I used to handle one business that was IT related business. So actually, that was the only reason I stayed in Bangalore and we registered in Bangalore. But fortunately, we found the great director, he's the Indian person in Bangalore. So he stays in Bangalore. So I thought this place was the best place to register. But after that, of course, we used to work in Bangalore as well with the collaboration with like Indian NGOs in Bangalore. So through this activity, I found coincidentally, just without any intention, I just coincidentally met the guy in Bihar or Gurgaon or West Bengal, Kolkata. And I visited many times and I observed the situation. And I found that in some areas, there's no school. Even though there's school, sometimes teachers are not coming. Actually, those situations I couldn't find in Bangalore itself. But I found in some areas. Of course, I cannot say in those cities, everywhere is the same situation. Of course, we cannot say, no one can say like that. But coincidentally, I happened to observe the situation. So I decided to work the areas.
as you are doing lots of work for child education, right? So obviously there is a lots of resources are required, right? And we are sure that you are facing lots of challenges to do this activity. So what are those major two or three challenges which you are facing right now and which you think is a very critical and important to address?
So, of course, the biggest challenge is the financial situation. So, basically, what we are doing is to give basic educational opportunity for the children where there is no school. It means that it's very hard for us to show the result in short terms. Of course, like if the child started to learn ka ka ga ga na, for example, we cannot see the results 1 week later. We have to keep doing right. So basically, we are paying teachers' fee and the stationery fees only. By increasing the number of our work sites, it means number of children. We need more teachers, more materials. Obviously, we need more funds. So basically, I'm handling some small business, so I can earn money and I can use my money to social work. But now, beyond the limit. Like for example, in one village in Gaya area, Gaya in Bihar. So actually that is our biggest work site. Whenever I'm visiting, many people are asking me to expand our work to the next village and further villages because the similar situations there. There's no education. So they are asking, but due to this fund limitation, we are not able to expand that much. So the second challenge is quite related to this difficulty. Actually, that makes me, very guilty as well, because I know the situation, but I have to kind of ignore. I cannot reach out to them because of lack of money. But the children's future is very important. For them, of course, today is very important day, right? Learn today, learn tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. This continuous learning is the key for them to get the future. But due to lack of money, I have to stop expanding now. So this is very challenging for me at the point of like mental health, we can say. Every day, every single day, I am feeling why I have to stop this expanding. So this is the second challenge. Of course, there are many challenges. So sometimes like fraud situation, undermoney, or like rape, unfortunately rape is there. Sometimes human trafficking, like there are many things happening. But those challenging situations never become the reason for me to giving up things, because this is what I found in my life. This is my purpose. So.
Yeah, it's very inspiring to hear you about your story, about the challenges which you are facing, about especially related with the fundraising, right? Because you are a professional, you had a graduation from Japan, right? So like other persons, like the mostly person which you are doing after this graduation, after complete their study, they're doing job and doing work in their life, regular works, which normal person are doing. So who inspired you to work these social activities, whether in your family or this kind of incidents happen in your life which inspire you to make your focus or make your efforts in this direction? So is these things happen?
Thank you again for your question. Basically, by reflecting my life, I think it started from my university era. I learned the University of Tokyo, and my major was religion, philosophy, and ethics. So that time, I asked myself as well, why you are living in the world? What is the purpose? What is the meaning? What is the value of myself? Through learning philosophical, like books. It was too difficult, but like I learned a lot. So that time, I asked myself why you was living in this world. But actually that time I couldn't find any kind of answer. So I decided to go backpacker. I traveled all over the world, from Canada, US, Mexico, Guatemala, Cuba, and South American countries, and Southeast Asian countries, and some other countries. During this travel, actually, I traveled without any purpose. I just wanted to run away from the society because I couldn't find any kind of purpose. But during this travel, I met one girl in Guatemala. She was 11 years old. And in Guatemala, actually, I studied Spanish. So I stayed around 2 weeks. So during those days, I met the girl, and she said to me, I want to go to Japan and I want to become a doctor. But at the same time, simultaneously, she said to me, I have to give up because I was born here. Most sorrowful thing is that she said very naturally. On her face, I couldn't find any pittiness, any kind of sorrowness. She just said very naturally. So just by born there, naturally people are giving up their dreams or goals, whatever they have, because of the external reasons, circumstances. So from the point, I started to feel like I should stop this backpack. On behalf of doing whatever I want to do, that was running away, I felt that this is a thing in the world I shall do because I was born here, and whatever efforts, if I want to do, I can do my effort. Of course, success depends on sometimes fate or like timing, whatever. But doing effort, wherever I were, I can do if I want. So this difference, I felt very unfair situation. So it brought me to do this social work.
Good to know this thing. Maybe these things will inspire with lots of our viewers also, right? Because as you said that you have traveled lots of around the world, right? Backpack, you have done this, and you're born and brought up in Japan, and now I think since last 5-6 years you are here in India. So what's the basic difference you are looking in the culture of Japan and India? Apart of that, yes, we are aware there is a per capita income and other things. So this is a difference which is on paper. About of that, because you are connected with the root of India, right? In the culture of that, you are working lots of social activities in rural areas also. You met lots of people here in India. So you know better, you can compare the culture difference into it. So what's the difference in cultural similarities you found in India and Japan?
Okay, thank you for asking. That is very interesting question, since I've never thought in deep. But what I feel is that cultural diversity and spirituality, this topic, I feel it's quite different from Japan and India. So basically, the root is, I think, very similar. Like Japan has Shintoism and India has Hinduism. So both have a lot of gods, like hundreds of gods. And where people are saying wherever we can find the gods, like this table, this tree, or pictures, walls, we can say there's a god. This similarity is there, but unfortunately for me, it is kind of an unfortunate thing. After World War II, we Japanese lost this diversity of culture and spirituality. But in India, even in rural side or slum areas, people have a spiritual mindset with strong culture. So they believe in God and they're taking care of families and neighbors. So this, how to say, but community bond by culture, I can say it's very different. And of course, food is very different. I cannot eat any spicy food. Japanese food is very good for me. This is very different. Yeah.
So the youngster here in India, if they want to do these kind of similar activities over there, so what advice would you like to give to them? I mean, how they can prepare themselves financially, mentally, moral support, their networking, their efforts, their roadmap. So, as per your experience, so what's the kind of advice you would like to give to the youngsters who want to follow you?
Okay, so for the younger generations, sometimes younger generations are asking to me, I want to do some social work, but I don't know how to do that. I don't know what to do that. But please rethink that. You have something you can do now. Like for example, if you are in urban area, you must have seen some poverty side, like street families, beggars, or slums. You must have seen, right? Of course, by living here, I saw. What I'm doing is that first, just try to communicate as the same human beings, without any bias, just as the same human beings. Of course, I'm foreigner and like they're Indians, so there are many differences, but at the point of humanity, of course, we are the same human beings. So first thing is that I just visit them and of course, try to politely communicate with them. Sometimes like they try to ignore or they just try to beg from me. But I'm keep telling, you are not the beggar. I want to communicate like that way, in sincere manner, in very polite way, of course. And like after 3 or 4 times of visitation, I'm not sure why, but in somehow we are able to communicate. And then we can understand the situation and we can understand each other as well. So then, like if you find, like for example, if there are some children who are not going to school every day, you can just start to teach whenever you have time, right? So these things you may feel this is very small thing, but for the child, for the community, it is not the small thing, obviously. For the child, if you can give the education from today, the child's future can be changed dramatically by understanding many things. So these things, please rethink. You are not the small young guys or young people. You have something you can do. But first, please rethink that. Please stop saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do. Please stop saying that. First, please think positively what I can do. In this mindset, I want to let all the people, not of course only for the youngsters.
Yeah, that's great to listen about your thoughts on this. You're saying that no need to be on a big site. Just start with a single step. If there is one small child near you, just start giving some study and help them to grow, to study into that. You can start from this. It doesn't matter whether you are struggling for that big resources over there. Whatever the resources you have, what the best you can do, start doing with this, right? Slowly you can expand that, right? So good to know. Because you are from different culture, so you know the Japan rural area challenges also, and of course there are Indian rural challenges also. And if you compare the urban life and rural life, in every society there is a difference, right? Different kind of challenges. But if we compare the Japan rural challenges and the rural here in India, so what are those? Of course, in rural sector India, we are struggling for the basic education, right? And we are not sure about the Japan. So what's the basic difference in if you compare the Japan rural society and Indian rural society?
Actually, this question is also my first time to think deeply. The first thing I think is I don't want to criticize, but what I'm feeling is that like governmental support. Like, for example, in Japan, wherever we were born, at least until 14 years old, we can get the education. And of course, school building is there, teacher is coming every day. And basically people are able to read and write, of course. And these days we can access to smartphones or laptops wherever in Japan. So wherever we were in Japan, we are able to learn whatever we want to learn. And if we want to get the higher skill, of course we can learn from online as well. Of course, physically saying, the opportunity is less than urban area, in Japan as well, of course. But still, there's good education. Actually, I'm from rural side of Japan as well, but I could get good education, and I learned from online basically. And I passed the exam of the top university. So this happens in Japan. But on the other hand, as like our work site as well, if there's no school, or if no one can teach, even sometimes parents are not able to read and write. Right? Who can give education? Without education, how they are able to learn by themselves? We cannot blame like you are lazy. No, it cannot be possible. I say like opportunity is quite different. This is what I feel.
Yeah, good to know this. If you said in Japan there is a basic infrastructure is available where people can go online and do this kind of activities and learn the things. Do you think our rural or semi-urban kind of areas is ready to adopt these kind of new technologies? With the help of technology, we can scale up our efforts and reach the people who is where it is not possible to provide any kind of physical teacher by using some special kind of like augmented and virtual realities or some kind of SLM programs. So is India is ready to adopt these things?
Okay. Yeah, basically my answer is yes, but not for every single part. I mean that even in our work site, actually we are using AI. Like for example, ChatGPT has a quite better conversational function. So even before learning how to read, children are able to learn whatever they want to learn by communicating with smartphone, right? But for that, of course, there must be someone who understands this. This function is good for you. Let's start. Then children can learn. But if the person is not there, it's very difficult. So this person who is telling that introducing and implementing and monitoring, like sometimes like device can be like misused or like just sold in some case. So of course this kind of mentor or coach or whatever we can say, the adult who can manage properly. If just one person is fine, one person in one village is fine, I think. But if the person is there, we can utilize the technology on ground basis.
Yeah. That's good. So that means it's a little bit challenge if you're saying that sometimes people are sold their gadgets which you are providing. So it's a challenge to convince them and tell them that how much important it is for you, right? So it's quite challenging to it, right? So coming back to your NGOs, right? Your daily activities, right? As you said that most challenging is the fundraising point. So fundraising is a similar activity which general people are doing to enhance their business activities, sales and marketing activities, and doing their elevator and napkin pitches. So the similar kind of activities you are doing, or you are taking or corporate companies is approaching you and not targeting you to do some kind of social activity. So what is your approach basically to raising this fund?
So at the point of fundraising, basically the idea can be very similar to business world. to the energy world with Japan. Like first we have to get the awareness what we are doing and get the trust and get sometimes donations or sometimes like volunteers as well. Like we can say work or resource. But like of course, basically by getting a donation, we are not giving anything, right? So from NGO side, we are not giving anything. But from corporate side, of course, corporates are providing some products or services. That's why, of course, corporates can get the money. So that point can be different, but it is quite slightly difficult to say from myself because I am asking donation and getting money and using on-ground basis. But what I am actually one donor, he's Japanese. He sits in Japan, and he's a top consultant. And what he said to me was that he thought he has to do by himself, but he couldn't do because he has his own life and job, of course. On behalf of that, he can donate. Of course, he works a lot and he got the high position, he got money, he can donate. So by donating, he said thank you to me. Of course, he's donor, so we are the one who shall say thank you, and we are saying. But he said to me thank you. Why? Because he said like we are giving the opportunity for him to involve in this social work by doing on-ground social work. So what I felt that time was we may be able to say that we are also giving some space, or not the service of course, but something to the donors. So that's why we are able to get the money as well. I'm not sure this is like right or wrong things, but that time I felt. So basically the marketing as well, like sometimes NGOs are like telling over things, like taking poverty photos a lot and asking money a lot and doing nothing. I saw a lot, but not doing like that. But by telling like what kind of society or world we are trying to create, or what kind of unfairness we are tackling, by explaining those things seriously, of course.
Yeah. So what's the vision you are looking for that, right? The purpose of this doing and just we have just heard about you about the challenges, about the culture, about the thing. So what's the vision you have?
The reason why I'm doing it means purpose is to give opportunities for the people who don't have because of external reasons. Our vision is that no one shall give up because of these external reasons. I don't want to see the people they have to give up by saying because I was born here, because I am living here. That is the reason, not the background. That is the reason, direct reason I have to give up. I totally feel why this situation still remains. Like we human beings developed the letters 5,000 years back, but still this situation is there. We developed AI technology nowadays, but still this situation remains. I don't want to continue this situation. So this is our purpose.
Yeah, it's good to listen this thing, right? Because as you said that you are some person in Japan who's supporting financially and he is supporting you well to do this noble cause, right? And our income sources, your income sources completely depend on the donation, right? Generally, we have seen that NGOs who's with this, they're trying to develop some kind of skills and develop some products, and by selling this product, they're working on that revenue generation models, right? So that NGOs can be a self-sustain and sustain in a and a futures aspect. So do you have such kind of plan to do this kind of things in a near future or in a long term? And for that, what's the kind of resources you are looking for?
So basically, let me explain about two things. So first thing is that now actually we are developing one moral related games. So like life game, actually life game is very popular in US and Japan. Like I heard that the business game is in India. Like we throw the dice, and according to the dice, the player will go and follow the instructions. Like those games. And our game, the point is that we have moral point and asset point as well. So through this game, there are several events, and in each event, player has to choose. There are two choices, like A or B, in each event. Like for example, it can be very like strange. I mean, like there must be answer, but there's one example. So when you are taking exam, the choice A is you will do it by yourself. Choice B is see others' answers, like cheating. So which you will take? And A and B, children will choose by like communicating each other. Like this, how to say, like kind of under pressure situation, like dilemma situation. This is not a dilemma actually, the answer shall be do it to yourself. But some other like things, like this is very sensitive, I know, but for example, if you are the guy and you will be married with the female, you will take dowry or refuse. For refuse means refuse for the daughter's family. This can be very sensitive, right? But I heard that some families, some males try to refuse as well, because like one of my Indian friend, he told me that females are not the things to buy, so that's why he tried to refuse and he refused. And like it means that can be possible. Of course, it must be difficult. But by thinking about this dilemma situation, by questioning from the very young childhood, of course, like after growing, they will face those situations. And then maybe some will stop and think, start to stop and think. Like another example is that when you try to get the job, you will pay under money or not, if you have money, if you are the rich. Like there are two options. Of course, if you pay under money, you will get the good job in this game itself, right? Okay, this is the game. So you will get the better job. If you won't pay, you cannot get the better job, but you will get the moral point. Okay, so like this way. Okay, this is just a game, but by playing this, children will stop and think the situation. What is good? What is wrong? But of course, legal, illegal things are there. But before that, we try to tell like ethical and moral development. And this itself, we are making as a game, so that children can play. Well, of course, adults can play with children. And adults, I mean, parents can educate, I mean, by communicating with family members, they can have a discussion, right? And they can share their own thoughts, opinions. Of course, sometimes maybe fighting as well. But by doing this, they will develop their morality. So this itself, as of now, we have only the paper version. But of course, to expand to the others, like as much as possible, it's better to make as an app, so that wherever people are there, they can access. And of course, if we start to sell, we can get money and we can use for our work. Sorry, but the second thing, I said two things, right? Second thing is that actually we are doing a women empowerment project as well. So this women empowerment, basically we are giving vocational training for the females in rural side, and they are making some products like paper products or handcraft with block printing, or like these days actually we started like padman, like clothing pad, sanitary pad we are making. Actually they are making, we are establishing that. so that females can get the money by making that and by selling as well. And then of course we can get the profit by that as well. So by doing this, we are trying to get the profit to expand our both basic education and women empowerment one.
Yeah, it's good to listen. I'm sure that after listening your thoughts and your ideas, lots of people will come forward, and definitely they will support as well as they can. So you will get a better support after this. That things. So during this journey, all this path, obviously you are facing lots of challenges and lots of obstacles. Have anyone in your family member who's asking you initially, you should not do this, just focus on your career, your growth, everybody is doing this. And in India, there is a very common culture that they're comparing one person with another. Look at your cousin, he's doing this much of, he's earning this, he's doing this, he's become this department head or CEO of that company. So you should also focus on this thing. Why you're wasting, or they are not understand this. So you are also getting this kind of things from your friends or family members initially?
Frankly saying, not the initially, continuously I'm getting those words. And of course I understand this capitalism world. Obviously this NGO work is like not the, like we cannot find like 30s or 40s males are doing this kind of works. Like after retirement, I understand. I mean, people understand, right? So this like from the, actually I started this when I was at 27 years old. So that time, of course, first, many people are telling me like, you have to get success first and then start. So those words were there, but I always keep telling that I don't want to ignore the current situation, and this is my purpose. It means that if I stop or I don't do this social work, I don't have any purpose to survive in this world. Again, I will run away from the society. So actually this social work itself is my life purpose as well. So of course no one should not wait why you have purpose, but why you are just waiting. So I cannot wait for that. That's why I'm just keep doing. Of course there are many struggles, but one best thing what I feel is that I found the purpose of life. So that's why whoever or whatever was are coming, I'm just keep doing.
It's good to know that in such a young age you got the purpose. Otherwise, lots of people are struggling with the whole life. What's the purpose of that life? They do not find that, right? So it's good to listen that you have, that you have across the world. You had that journey and you visited lots of countries over there. So obviously, that each country having a different kind of challenges over there, right? You have started journey in you have spent time in the US, Canada, and lots of European countries also, right? And after that, you have stable there in India, and you're doing lots of good work in social works here in India. So across the world, you think that they're also having the similar kind of challenges like here in India, or as far as challenges is concerned, India having some special kind of things in the challenges sides. So in Western countries and developed countries is also facing this kind of challenge, like basic fundamental education, some their struggle in life, the way India is doing, similar kind of other countries also having.
The one thing I have to say before answering is that India and Japan are the two countries I stayed. I mean, like other countries, I just traveled, right? So I cannot say I understand. But from my point of view, like some point, India can be very special. Like again, like social background. Like for example, of course, South American countries, or of course African countries, and some Southeast Asian countries are suffering from poverty, right? And like I read about like corruption as well. I couldn't see, but I read about that. Some similarity can be there. But one thing is that there are kind of homoculture, not diverse as much as India. So this diversity, I actually like diversity by accepting the difference. I like that, but sometimes this diversity can be the wall, can be the challenging to feel that we are the same. So sometimes I feel in India there's too much diversity and sometimes it's working as a challenging to develop like basic fundamentals. So I think this is very different from the other countries. Of course, the good points we're gonna like count. There are many good points by diversity, but sometimes I feel this can lead to challenge.
There's some lighter note because in Japan, if you're talking about the sports side, it's a part of this conversation which we had. Just cover that. So, which is your favorite sport? So, still is a football which is very famous in Japan, or now you have started following the cricket. So, because if you are India, you cannot avoid the cricket. So, who is your favorite cricketer? And you started following the cricket?
No. Actually, I cannot name any single player of the cricket.
But you're a regular follower of football, right?
Not much. Actually, I'm not watching much sports. I used to do like tennis, and I used to do triathlon. Like triathlon is swimming, cycling, and running at the one time. I mean, like swimming. For example, like I joined the competition in Goa, and that was 2 kilometers swimming, and after that 80 kilometers cycling, and then half marathon, so 20 kilometer running. So I joined the competition. So I like to play. I don't like to watch. So by watching, I feel like I want to do.
Right. That's the right way. Right. If you're talking about the food side, right, as you said earlier also, that food, obviously you like that. Japanese is the most suitable and comfortable food. So in India, which is your favorite food and which is the most suitable and you like that? I can give you some option also. Have you ever tried that chole bhatura? No. Dosa? Idli? Yes. And chapati sabji, obviously you have already tried. So, which one you like, your food?
Chicken malai tikka.
Oh.
Chicken malai tikka is the first food I remember because I know that it's not spicy. And the second is butter chicken. Butter chicken actually sometimes spicy. Even I ask, please make it zero spicy. But and restaurant staff is telling me like it's zero spicy. But it is spicy for me. But chicken malai tikka always zero spicy. That's why I like.
Right. Chicken malai tikka is very famous here in North India. Right. So who's there in your family here in India? Because you have settled here in India. So who's there in your family members? Would like to know about that. Yeah.
So we are staying in Gurgaon basically, and wife and 2 kids are there.
As we've seen that lots of Japanese companies, especially in the automobile sectors and other sectors, they are doing lots of business here in India, right? So, and this business and collaboration, business to business, is going increase day by day. So, do you think that these associations where we are transaction and doing lots of import and export and doing this business will help you to do these social activities because your major funding source is from Japan, right? So do you think that this will be helpful for you?
Yes, thank you. So yeah, obviously the answer is yes. So of course, like once Japanese experts numbers increase, it simultaneously means that more and more Japanese will be aware of India itself. Else, like for Japanese who have never come to India, India's image is IT, curry, like these things only. But once they came to India and understand, then like some of them are starting to understand about the social situation, what can be the issues, and also they are aware of our foundation as well, Musubi Foundation. And among of them, like they are starting to donate as well. We are receiving the fund as well. And the second point is that as you mentioned about the auto industry, so they are making factories, right? So it means that Japanese companies are giving employability in the society as well. So these 2 points, I think this increased the number of Japanese companies can contribute to Indian society.
Like we are getting not only on just on the business side, but in that overall development growth. If you're talking about this bullet trains, now we are looking that is a huge technology transforms and lots of other things is going in infrastructure building. So lots of big projects. Indian government is very closely associate the Japanese government. So is government to government association, and we are getting some special kind of benefit for some Indian governments also, because we are doing a lots of social activities here in India, especially in the rural areas. So have any Indian person or you approach some person here in India about your resources which you are looking for, and you are getting some kind of response from them?
I have many Indian friends, and fortunately, some of them are starting to work together for social purpose, like together under my Musubi Foundation sometimes, but other times, they're creating their own NGOs in their places and starting their own social works, which are, of course, are fine. So this is happening. Also, at the point of governmental collaboration, basically that is my weak point. I mean that I have to do more research, and I have to do definitely I have to understand more about what the Indian government and the Japanese governments are doing about this social work or NGOs or whatever. Like there must be many schemes, right? And many projects are there. But first thing that I have to understand the things. Basically, I need someone who can support to do research and share ideas, what we have to apply or where we have to collaborate those.
Like you explain your vision and purpose, right? So we discuss what is your future plans and what's the thing you want. You have shared your ideas about that game also, which is a mind game, right? To check that morality and other things, right? So if you're talking about that specific things for this year, right? You're doing lots of other HR related activities also, right? At earning sources, but your major focus is on this NGO level, right? So what are their major activities you are going to do in this year to make your purpose fulfill as far as this NGOs is concerned?
So basically there are two things, especially for this year. First thing is to enhance the quality of our basic educational work. So basically, as I said, we are doing this basic educational work in where there's no education. So before our work starts, no one could take any kind of education. So we are starting from the scratch. But now it passed, for some area, it passed already 3 years or 4 years. So gradually, of course, children's understanding level is increasing. So now what we are doing is that, especially this year, we are focusing on curriculum making as well as enhance the quality of teachers as well. So for that, I am making like culture book to share the idea so that we can do teachers training. So our teacher frankly saying, like our teachers are not the professional teachers. We cannot find professional teachers in those areas. So basically we are asking to, like, for example, college students or like people who got education in the past. So they are not the professional teachers. So what we are trying to do is that we can train as a professional teachers with mindset of social work. So this is the one thing, especially this year, we are focusing. And the second thing is the women empowerment. So far actually this is my fault as well. I try to do a lot of things in one time. So like, as I explained, sanitary pad project is ongoing and we're gonna focus on this. But aside from that, we used to make like mushroom cultivation project we used to do, and maybe we're gonna do this year, I'm not sure. Also like banana chip selling project among the like SHGs, like women empowerment, for women empowerment. And paper bags, paper products making, we are doing, like some other things. But I realized, as you said about HR as well, I'm doing HR business as well. I feel I'm doing too much things at one time. So I have to think, like, since we have some kind of attractions in each area, now the time to choose which area to focus on. So as of now, I have decided to focus on this sanitary pad closing project because that can solve the health issues as well. Of course, as well as income generation part and the health issues. So I decided to focus on this and of course basic education.
So good to listen this. The people who's listening you or who knows you, right? And if they want to join you and support you, they want to associate with you in your daily activities, who can participate with you in different social activities. So what the thing they should do? If they have to approach you, so what's the kind of mindset they have and how they can tune up you to align it with you? And a part of that donation part, so what's the other activities these people can engage and join with you?
Basically, obviously, I have never taken any education in India. So I'm learning, but I have never experienced. Of course, like I'm not an Indian citizen, so my knowledge about India is totally poor than, of course, Indian national people. So, like for example, we discussed about governmental scheme, right? So conducting research and sharing whatever we can utilize and implement, that can be the one big part of collaboration. I mean, like one big support and help I want to get as well. And another thing, like I know some NGOs and basically we are working together. So whatever I can do for them, of course I'm doing, and whatever they can do for us, we are taking the support. So like this mutual support is very important, I feel, because like we are working under similar purpose wherever we are working. So obviously what I feel is that we shall share the information, whatever failure, success, or whatever the resources, if we can share, we shall share so that we can work more efficient way to solve the issues itself. So whoever wants to join, like basically I'm welcoming anyone with the sincere heart. Of course, I cannot accept like liars and those things. Obviously, I cannot like. But if you have the warm heart and want to do something in your mind, from your mind, and if you have any kind of purpose, it can be similar to my purpose. We are welcoming to work together.
As you mentioned that you are doing lots of activities in different parts of that India, like in south, north, and east also, and you are doing a very good activities in Gaya also. And Gaya is a very important part of India. Lord Gautam Buddha inspired the world, and lots of followers are there in India and in Japan itself, right? So do you think that Gaya in spiritual wise and doing this work is giving you a one special kind of satisfaction when you visit there very frequently and doing activities, and how it is different from other part of India?
So yeah, of course, almost all the people understand Gaya. I mean, Buddha Gaya is the like world famous place at the point of Buddhism. And for myself, like yeah, there are many temples as well. There are many people from all over the world. So especially like sometimes I'm visiting temples and spending 1 hour like that. So during that time, I can feel like mind peace as well. Like of course, many other people are also feeling the same. So this environment is very specific and special. So obviously, this social work, there are many tough situations. But during these tough situations, I can feel I have a place to feel the peace. So this like Gaia is kind of special for my social work as well.
So, as you mentioned, that lots of financial support to run this activity is completely based on the donation, right? And in that, major donation you are getting from your Japanese friends and your personal network, right? So, in your Japanese network, if somebody wants to support you in this cause, and if they are not willing to get into actively participate actually by donation, so how you would like to ask them, your Japanese network, okay, how their money which they are donating will be used in this proper activities and in the social world? Or would you like to say something to these people so that you will get a better financial support and you can do and you can expand your activities as well?
Yeah, thank you. So about how we are utilizing the money itself. So one thing that I can say is that if I use in wrong way, I will commit suicide. Because as I said, this is my purpose of life. It is not like over speaking. I mean like, as I said, I run away from this society, right? And during the travel, backpacking, I found the purpose of my life. So if I do wrong, like taking donation and for myself, like for example, I will lose my purpose of life. So I cannot do that. So, and as of now, as I said, we are utilizing for teachers' fee and stationaries. And the current situation is not well. Like we need to stop expanding our basic education work. And even current children, they don't have any kind of books. We don't have any budget to purchase textbooks nor books. So if we can get more fund, of course, we can expand more villages. It's directly meaning their children. Or like if you can donate some books, like textbooks, or whatever the books that can lead them to like enhance their understanding levels, that will also help a lot.
For more information, please contact us or visit www.technovizautomation.com.